Welcome into another episode of our brand new Ski Sports Card Show here, part of the Card House Network. We have a special guest on today's artist Topps 2020 Project 2020 artist interview series, coming to us from probably the farthest distance that any other artist has or will come to us, all the way from down under, where he's celebrating summer. I see you in like the little jersey. You feeling good? I'm in the hoodie over here, out here in LA. Tyson Beck, how are you feeling, brother?
Yeah, what's up, DJ Skee? Yeah, going well out here. Like we're just heading into summer, but pretty much it's warm all year round here, so we have
That's true.
beautiful weather. That's why I'm still here and I haven't ventured out. But yeah, I love it here.
It's amazing. It's amazing, man. So I love this project. I'm pulling up some of the cards that I've been buying of yours since this started. We've got over 20 giveaways on this episode tonight. You even said you're going to do a special giveaway. So I'm really excited for this. So shout out to everybody that's rocking with us. You guys might be getting something special. We're also going to give away one of the limited edition prints. So you guys stay tuned. Shout out to everybody watching us across all these different platforms. But let's dive right into it. So Tyson, one of the most intriguing things to me is how you got into kind of remixing and remaking cards, and especially baseball, because baseball is not a big sport down in Australia.
No, it's not. But like in terms of like I'm a massive sports fan, and it was really the only thing that I was good at in school, design art. So, but I didn't really have a passion for it. I was just like making stuff that looked cool. But so I wanted to combine the two, and that's just kind of how it went. And that was back in like 2003. So, how I got into cards, like literally, it just came from an email in like 2014 from Topps saying like, we're seeing your stuff on Instagram, like your designs in artwork look great. It'd be cool to put that stuff on cards because cards, like especially when I was doing baseball and NFL cards for Topps in back 6 years ago, it's very conservative. Like now, it's like you're looking at Topps Project 2020, it's all out there and everything's cool. But like back then, like very conservative cards. So like with Topps Fire that I was doing, it was kind of really like one of the first sets that were like really out there and like kind of like special in terms of creativity. So I've been working with Top since 2014 and just, done a bunch of sports, soccer, UFC, NFL, WWE. Like there's just been a stack. So baseball is just one of them.
It's really sick. What was the first thing that really got you and drew you into kind of putting your art onto these cards? What gave you that inspiration? Because you were doing it at a time before this is now it's a little more common, but it wasn't really a common thing then.
Man, like honestly, the inspiration for like diving real deep into it now is like I remember collecting cards when I was a kid. I was collecting hundreds, thousands of them. But then when I started to like get into like design and art, like I no longer liked the cards. Like I would collect a card. Like I'm a huge Lakers fan, so I'd collect like Kobe cards. But I found myself, it's like I'm collecting the card because of the player. I'm not collecting it what it looks like. Everyone be like, oh, look, I've got a Michael Jordan card, a LeBron card. No one's saying, oh, look at this LeBron card, like it looks sick and everything. It's like, it's a LeBron card. So that's how I dove out of the whole trading card scene because I was like, I don't like now that I'm an actual creative person myself, I just don't find these, they don't look good to me. It's like, a photo slapped on a card with text. And it's like, that's cool, the conservative, traditionalist, like that. But for me, like as an artist, like it's just not the stuff that I make. And so I don't kind of vibe with it. So then, yeah, now there's perfect opportunity. We're making all this stuff. So it's like, man, I want to collect cards. I want to make cards that people are collecting and they don't even like the sport. They don't even like the player, the team. And that's what's happening. I've had hundreds of people reach out, especially in Australia. Baseball literally doesn't exist here. And the amount of people that have reached out to me in Australia going, I'm collecting your baseball cards. I don't even like baseball, like never watched it, don't even know these players, but I'm collecting because they look cool. And for me, that is so important because what we're doing is we're driving, and along with the other artists, we're driving new people into the hobby. And I think that's the most important thing. The only way this can grow, baseball cards, basketball cards, or even stay at this level is you're getting more people in, the demand of it. And I think that's a beautiful thing that, myself and other artists have created a new wave of people that are now actively purchasing and collecting baseball cards. And that's so special.
Super dope to see. And that's what I love about this whole Project 2020 series is the fact that it's bringing all these different walks of life together, and it's bringing people that don't even like baseball cards. The dope thing about like all these cards that you hold up, right, is there you don't have to know anything about Derek Jeter, Ted Williams, Sandy Koufax, Frank. I was telling you, I'm not like Frank Thomas. I hated because I'm a Twins fan and he was in our AL Central, but I love the design on this card just from a pure artistic standpoint. They're really great keepsakes and mementos. And I obviously think too, is you do, and you're seeing with, you actually have a really big giveaway coming up with us. The value in these is like kind of alternative assets, which is really intriguing. And the whole scene has exploded. Taking it back, since you've been kind of in the card game now for a relative minute, how have you seen the change happen since really say even in the 6 years that you've been working with Topps? And what were some of those moments that you remember where you're like, wow, this is really getting big to being a thing? Because obviously it exploded with COVID, but the past couple of years it's been really accelerating like crazy. And that's why there's so many new people and old people that were in the hobby that are back into it now.
Yeah, I mean, you perfectly said it. Like, obviously, COVID changed a lot. Like, everyone got nostalgic. They were locked down in their homes. A lot of people moved back into their parents' homes. It's just something to do. You just whip out a folder and start looking at all these cards, and you get nostalgic, start collecting again. But like in terms of like even before COVID, like even the last few years, I think the biggest change for me was like when I was creating cards with Topps in 2014, I started creating them, and it was just called Topps Fire. Like that's what I was doing. It was called Topps Fire. And then over time, like, my name's on the work. And then my logo's on the work. Then Topps are getting me to autograph cards that are randomly inserted into packs and people chasing. So I think the way like Topps is just so much, like it's ridiculous. You can't even compare it. Topps is so much better than Panini, Upper Deck, any trading card company in the world. With collaborating with creative people, like you just don't see Panini doing anything. You just don't see Upper Deck doing anything. Like it's just they're still very old minded. They're not collaborating with artists doing like these cool things. And shout out to Topps. Like they've honestly they've been amazing. And like I'm not just saying it because we're on this stream and we're talking about Topps, but like I've been in magazines, interviews, and everything, and they said, "Who's your favorite client? Who's your best client?" And I said Topps. And like they're like why? And it's just like because they promote my name, they push my name, they do it so much. Whereas like so many of my other clients, they try and hide that I work with them. Like it's ridiculous. It's like you should be proud that you're working with me. You should be proud you're collaborating with me. So I think actually now this Topps project has actually helped me in terms of like I think like the amount of people companies that have reached out wanting to collaborate with me and then use my name and my fan base and everything to push stuff has been huge as well.
Yeah, man. No, a great breakdown. And like, yeah, we're saying this, obviously Topps is here presenting this stream with us, but I just can't get over the fact that they let artists kind of go wild and do their own thing and really give you full creative control in essence over these cards too. And these are like iconic moments and kind of IP that they have in their catalog. Most people are, and most brands are not very conducive for doing those things. Let's give away another card in the chat right now. We've got a bunch of people in here. Actually, a couple questions for you too. Noim no TSR is asking what jersey you're wearing. So you're gonna show off what jersey you got on.
Kobe high school jersey.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
In your story, I want to dig into what you've done with Kobe because it's truly an amazing thing right there. There we go. They already guessed it. The Lower Marion Kobe Bean Bryant jersey. They were guessing before it was there.
I actually this is my favorite jersey because I met him wearing this jersey twice.
Wow.
So,
Oh, that's right. I didn't even realize that's what you're wearing in the pic. That's sick.
Mm-hmm.
W Grove was jumping on some of the things that we're saying, talking about completing sets, being a fan, opening new packs on packs, seeing cards you've not seen before. The quality part of the experience was what's collecting. And he thinks cards has become a lottery ticket with signatures and the pieces of the uniforms. And that's kind of what's so cool about this Top series, right? Like if I order one of Tyson's cards, I have the chance of getting one of those artist prints or even the 1-of-1 gold, which really is a lottery ticket, especially that. Whoo, wait, is that gold? Wait, hold on. So how'd you get that? You're holding a 1-of-1 gold Griffey. You don't get those from Topps. You must have bought that off somebody.
No, I randomly pulled it. Bought it like a customer on a website. And I pulled it on a live stream on YouTube, which was really cool.
Wow.
And I was just flooded with comments of like rigged, fake, all this. great stuff. But it was just a bit of a laugh. But like, it's not rigged because I've 17 cards through my set and I've only got one gold. So that was cool. I mean, Ken Griffey at the time. The special thing about this at the time is I remember
Ooh.
Top sent me an email. Like they were so excited because this got like the print run was like 3,700, and at that time that was huge. Like that broke the record by a lot.
See, there's
Got
my,
it right there.
my sad little one without a case
Yeah,
around
yeah.
it, so you guys
So
can see this.
I'm holding on to this. Like that, I won't be selling this ever. It's just I just think it's
So
really cool to
sick.
have. Yeah, I mean it would be cool to get others, but like at the end of the day, is yeah, I was lucky enough to pull that one of one, and anyone has the same chance. Everyone has the same chance. You buy a card and you can pull that one of one, which is really cool.
Phew, that's amazing. Yeah. So for people that don't know, the artists have to actually buy their cards back from Topps, and they have the random chance to get that as well. I think you guys get an artist print, right? You get one of the silver ones. You get one of the silver ones to keep, but you don't. The gold ones are so random. So the fact that you pulled it and didn't have to buy it is amazing. Now, I know we said we were going to do another giveaway. We'll do one on Twitch right now, and then we'll jump over to YouTube in a second. Let's see. We got some good ones. Let's ask a question for some of them. What was the first card? And I don't know this answer offhand, so Tyson, you're gonna have to answer it. What was the? You can type it in the chat to me. But what was the first card for Project 2020 that you dropped? What was the first card? The first person to answer right now on Twitch, we will give them the answer, or I can just read them off, and you tell me if we get something right there. Doc.
Mhm.
There we go. Got it right away. Jizz is 73. Wait, did we give one to Jizz already? He already won. All right, we've got it. Let's see if somebody else says it. Oh, we already kind of
Give me
gave it
one
away.
sec. I'm gonna shut my dogs up. They're going nuts. Hold up.
Go do it. No worries. All right, we're gonna do it. All right, so we'll go to the second person, Q3U3. Not good, because I think we already gave Jizz a 60 or Jizz a 73 a card early on. Let me look. We got so many giveaways. I can't even keep track of it. That's what's so dope about this show. Yeah, Jizzy, you already won, so you can't win 2 cards. But thank you for staying with us and rocking with us. We'll get some more stuff. You can still be entered to win that grand prize. Don't worry. We are live right here. We do it like this every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 on the East, 7 Central, 6 Mountain Time, and 5 out here where I am from Los Angeles. Tyson, what time is it? It's like 11:30 in the morning over there. You guys are in that weird like 30-minute time zone change too, right?
Yeah, we're 11:46 a.m. here. Yeah. So
Great.
it's not bad for sport here because sport's played like in the afternoon. So if you don't have a job, or you're
Amazing.
able to just sit by a computer and watch, it's pretty good. Sport runs from 10 a.m. till like 4 p.m. here, so it's really
It's
good.
amazing. It's the best time. What was it? What was it that really got you into sports? We know your design history. What have you always been a sports fan since you were a kid? What really made you get into this? This whole world as a fan.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm always been sports crazy. So like the first sport I grew up watching playing was a sport here called it's like Australian rules. The league here is AFL. So I don't know if you've heard about it or not. You've
Oh
seen
yeah,
it.
of course, man. Y'all are
It-
wild.
yeah, it's like a mix between rugby and gridiron, but it's really a unique sport. It's there's nothing you can really kind of directly compare it with. But that's the biggest sport here by a mile. So grew up watching that, playing that when I was younger, and then it was too rough. Like it was way too rough. I got like lost. I lost a few teeth playing, getting kicked in the face. So I was just like, I can't do this anymore. After that game, I was like, I want to do something else. And then like basketball was like I just remember playing. Oh, it's like I wasn't playing sport for a while, and I went over to a friend's house and played NBA Live '96. I don't know. I played it the first time. I was like, "This is so much fun!" And just ever since then, I've just like my whole life has been basketball. It's like it's crazy that just one video game back then, playing it at a friend's house, just changed everything. So that's kind of how I got into it.
It's amazing. And you were doing one interesting thing about your story is like we see the prevalence of social media, of sports art. But you got into this early on in like the mid 2000s, right? Like when you were first starting to
Mhm.
create your own kind of designs based on sports things. And I remember looking at some of your pieces and looking back on things right now that I didn't even realize you did that I remember seeing back then. And you were really ahead of the game in terms of some of the art and the themes and designs and stylistics and how you were making it, like taking something in the real world and flipping it, basically what Project 2020 is, but
Yeah.
for athletes and for leagues and sports. What was your first big break in terms of when somebody noticed you or somebody posted something or first big job? What was your first big break with sports?
Geez, that's old. I don't know. Like, I guess like it's funny how like so minuscule now, like in the big picture, but like at the time, like what, like I think it was 2007, like I was doing some design, like the Lakers reached out and I was doing some design work with them, and it was just cool to get a check in the mail with the Lakers logo on it. Like it wasn't much money. I was a kid, like, you know, in the big picture it's just like, you know, it was really small money, like, and now when you look at it now, but like it was just cool. Like that was a moment, like being able to walk into a bank when I was 17 with the Lakers logo on it. Like that was, it was just like for where I'm from, like not a great area as well. Like people at the bank were flipping out. They thought I played for the Lakers, and which was funny. But yeah, for me that was my first big like kind of cool thing. And then it was also like, you know, I did some work with Kobe's memorabilia line, and then like the NBA reaching out to me and working like directly with them, like doing like, you know, the creative. I do branding for them. Like a lot of the stuff I just never post. Like I post very little of my work, so a lot of the stuff the NBA I've never posted. So again, that was pretty
Wow.
cool to kind of just get a legal letter saying like, yeah, like the NBA entertainment, whatever it's called, and getting hired by them and working here. And I think that was kind of a cool thing. And just like, you know, but then in like as time goes on, like, you know, some of those like dreams, like you kind of just, yeah, I think it's cool. Like I'm kind of like moving past my dreams, like, which is a really good thing because I'm just forever evolving. And like you mentioned, like from the start, I think, you know, my work's not the best. You know, it's not like, oh, people hire me because like it's the best of the best. I don't think that's true. I think they hire me because I've got the ideas, I've got the vision. Like, you know, there's some of the stuff now or last year you see on social media. I was doing that stuff like 10 years ago on a group called Posterizers. Like everyone blows up about like Bleacher Report, like making, you know, they were making all this social content, like they've changed the way design is on social media content on sports, but like they didn't do any of that. Like we, you know, me and a few guys called Posterizers, we did all that before Bleacher Report even existed. And basically Bleacher Report came and then just hired a bunch of the guys from our group, which is great. And then that kind of what happened with sports social media work. And I think that's just what I've been able to do, stay ahead of the curve, create trends. And I think that's kind of what's keeping my name and work in demand, just creating trends that are then used in years to come.
I love it, man. You know what's so great too? For me, it's, you know, being a music artist and doing these things, working with sports is just a dream. I thought I was going to be a pro athlete coming up. I currently do all the stuff out here in the NFL for my Vikings. And you said something that reminded me, like getting a Lakers check is the coolest thing ever. I just pulled this. It's one of my Minnesota
Yeah.
Vikings football checks, right? Like that experience, getting it from a team that you idolize, you almost feel like you're a part of it. There's nothing better than that, right?
Oh, for sure. And it's, yeah, it's just so meaningful. And I mean, like if you like think of yourself like as a kid, like you wouldn't even dream of that. Even if that was your goal, even like it's just crazy to think that. And those little moments, like you'll have that forever. You'll have that when you're 80
Totally.
years old, barely can move. Like, yeah, that's something you'll hold forever.
Totally, man. Totally. I want to switch it over to the YouTube chat. We got it cracking over there too. Shout out to everybody that's in there. We'll do another giveaway to somebody in the YouTube chat. What question should we ask them? Do you got anything on some of the cards? Let's keep it around Project 2020. You go ahead and can cue this one up.
What's that?
You can go ahead and queue up any question if you want to think of something. We'll give whoever answers it first correctly on the YouTube chance a
Oh,
winner.
right.
It can be
Okay.
around Project 2020.
Okay.
Do you want to do
Okay.
it? What your last release was, maybe?
All right. What was today's release? I released a card today.
There we go. First person to respond right now on YouTube, we're going on YouTube for it, will win. Answer which card dropped today. Mark McGuire.
Correct.
There we go. The
Correct.
first person to say it is Fludeza. So Fludeza, message us, send us a DM right now. Just go on Instagram or Twitter if you can @radio, and we will hook you up. Shout out to everybody else. Don't worry, we still got some more giveaways. I want to get to a couple questions from YouTube.
We got this.
Um,
We got to give away this at some point. The
wow.
holy grail of my set. So we've got to work out.
Hold on. We got to stop the chat. Let's start that over. So this was the first one you did, and this was before Project 2020 truly exploded, when it was still just this really cool project and idea, and it didn't have the public's awareness. Because of that, it was a really low print run. What was the print run of this Doc Gooden card?
1065. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure.
So
And
there's
there was
only,
also issues with the Topps website that people from Australia couldn't purchase cards for like my first 3 cards. So there was a bit of that going, which is, I guess, unfortunate, but like in a way, it's kind of good that I'm really proud that I've got the shortest print, and I hope it holds on.
1,064 of those are in existence. One of beyond this one, just this
Yeah,
one that is right here. So at the end of this, if you guys rock with us throughout this, we are going to be giving that away. Plus, we got a print that we're going to give away. We have, of course, the 2020 artist prints, which I love so much because you're taking these cards that we all recognize as art and blowing them up on your wall. So it's something that we can all hold on to. So we're going to give one of those away. I would suggest people ordering those. I think those are going to be the most, those have the opportunity to appreciate the most of anything out of these too, especially because people are getting a full size like art print for $3.99. Like it's an
it,
incredible
yeah,
deal, and they're
and
super
it's
limited.
and once, like for example, like once the doc one comes out, which is today, actually this one came out today, my
Yeah.
print, that you can get a framed print, professionally framed. It's so nice. I've got some in the back of Brett here. I don't have docs, but it's actually cheaper than the card. You can buy it and it's
That's
signed, numbered,
crazy.
so limited to 99.
Yeah, it's
And then you
actually
can,
more limited, ironically enough, right?
and it's cheaper, and it's 20 times the size of that. Really professionally framed. It's amazing, the quality, large and scaled up. So I mean, it's funny, like, yeah, I mean, some of the cards obviously in Project 2020 aren't worth much, the ones with the high print runs, but the ones with the low print runs, it's cheaper to buy the print signed, which
It's
is insane.
crazy.
So because yeah, tops aren't putting my good in one more expensive. It's everything the same, which is pretty cool.
Amazing, man. Amazing. We got a bunch of people on. Shout out to Tony Schreck in here on YouTube who said he doesn't recognize you without the knit hat. People talking about the Dink art has the whole set other than the good. And so if you stay with us, Dink art, you might have the opportunity to win it. People talking about the Griffey print being fire. They're talking about you pulling that, the gold one on stream. Of course, the new drops that you've done on that. Other people have their dogs barking in the background and huskies, so no worries about it. Here's a good question from NorCal Dugouts, who says, Tyson, what was the last straw to inspire you to create the F the Bots card? And so if people don't
um,
know, you don't even have a shot. It seems like it's some of these artist proofs and these other ones, because the bots just come in and swoop it up. Like we've seen that happen to sneaker culture for years and years, and now it's evolving into the card culture. So what was the last straw? We all know kind of the rationale behind it.
Man, the last straw was like just looking at people. Like, I'm on a Facebook group and people were so upset. Like, they were trying to chase these APs here, like the
Yeah.
silver frame APs. This is a Jeter one. And they would literally, like, they would sell out. Yeah, they would sell out before, like, I would go on my drop and see if I could try and get one.
Yeah.
They would sell out before you can even add it to the cart. Like, it was just, and I was like, and every day I'm just seeing every drop and people like, "Oh, I want is an AP," or, "I want," and everyone's just so upset. So, like, just trying to get one, I guess. And then people obviously, the whole like sneaky game, like you mentioned, and then they're in the trading card market now. Like, when things were popping, like some of these cards, like, there was a time when this was going for 3,000 US on eBay, and selling is also at that price. And then this one, George Brett, was like selling at 800, sold a few. So people were trying to get into it. And I was just like, man, people are so upset. So I just made a card just saying F the bots. And it was funny because I just did a random drop, and I didn't hype that up. So it was like, there was no way that the bots could get it, because, like, I mean, also I've got bot protection on my site, but it's not bulletproof. But the fact that it was a random drop, it wasn't like, a heads up about it. And it sold out real quick. And like, it was funny because I saw on social media people being like, "Oh, that's funny. Like, an F the bots card got snapped up by the bots." But it's like, it didn't. I've looked through all sales and it's all real people, all people that have supported my work in the past. So that was just, yeah, I wanted to start my set with that. I just thought it was a cool timing, like, for everything Project 2020 at the time. It was all about the bots back then. Now it's kind of eased back. You can, if you want something, you got a better chance of getting it now, which is nice.
That's true. Yeah, it's kind of that balance, right? Like it's just supply and demand. It started off like undervalued, and then so many people tried to get in, and then they realized, wait, now we're printing 100,000 of these, so it's not going to be
Yeah.
the same limited print runs. And now it's starting to creep back down and up again. Actually, Bradley wants to know: is the demand for the project increasing in your eyes? What are you seeing across this? Because I think it's kind of on the swing up as we're towards the end of it.
I think the demand on, like, the foils are going to go up. I think that's kind of like that. Now they've introduced rainbow foils on some of the prints. I think some of those cards, like I saw the Trout one recently, sold well. Obviously that's
Yeah.
Trout, but like, even for Trout, like the previous Trout before, sold well. And that, I think people are chasing those. Um, I honestly think like it's funny. Like people are buying these $20 cards and people are flipping them for 500, 600, 700, 800, whatever at the start. But it's like, man, you put $20 in shares, you're probably lucky to turn it into $40 in 5 years' time. So
Yeah.
people had this mindset of like trying to like get a quick profit so fast. But like I honestly think like if you've got a set of my 20 cards, I think, what's it going to be worth in 10 years time? I don't know. But like, I think, it's a crazy year. I think the real value will be being able to collect a whole player set or a whole artist set and then hold on to that for a few years, see how it is. Because at the end of the day, is this Project 2020 is iconic
Yeah.
at the moment, but also like if there's a good chance Panini will do something like this with basketball, or Upper Deck will do something like this with the ice hockey, and then Topps might do something like this in the future, and this set will forever be known as the one that created the trend.
Yeah.
And it will be iconic. It's the first ever one, so I think because like anything, it's the first ever one. It's always going to be worth the most.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think that there's such a big opportunity right now to buy these, especially some of them you can get such great deals on and still get there. I think that some of these lower prints, like the over time, everybody's going to copy this, and this is going to be the card in the series that I think bring a lot of people back to the hobby. I remember seeing this and like that's really cool, and even your fans, right? Like you're talking about them not buying, not even liking baseball. These are the first baseball cards they're buying. And then like once you get into it, you're like, oh, I might want to actually buy the original card and buy the new cards then and those things. So it's a great kind of gateway to bring people into that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Some
other thing that's really cool is speaking to the people. Like I'm not exaggerating. It's literally hundreds. And speaking to them, the most consistent feedback is them just being shocked at like the quality of the cards, how thick they are. Like they thought, like when you're buying it online, like I guess you can't really see. They just thought it was going to be like a thin, like a normal trading card. But the fact that it's 130 point, it's like a little mini art piece. So
yeah.
I think everyone that was new into the hobby were just shocked at like, oh, I didn't expect this type of card. Like it's kind of it's legit sort of thing. So that was cool feedback to see.
It's super sick. We're getting some other great questions from out there. Adrian wants to know, did you think Topps Project 2020 would become such a polarizing style of modern sports cards?
No, because I've worked on probably 20, at least 20 projects with Tops. Um, and it's I just thought it was going to be something like my previous projects where it's fun to do and it's not in Forbes and CNN and all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
none of this, and ESPN or whatever. Like I honestly, I didn't see it blowing up like this. And that's not to say I didn't think it was a good idea. It was just because I've done so many projects with Tops before. It was just like, oh, it's just another project. So I didn't think anything special of it.
Yeah, no, it's turned out to be something iconic. For you, in terms of the way that you've approached the cards, what's been your strategy, and how has it changed at all from the beginning of it, and how you approached obviously having 20 players? You know what the cards are, you know what the players are. How did you approach the design elements? Did you want to keep things kind of consistent, so there was some element of consistency for that? Do you approach each card from like a whole new, fresh state of mind? What's your kind of thought process in working on these cards? I'll hold a couple up while you answer.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few here as well. No, basically, I don't think anything's changed at all. Basically, I try and pay homage to the original card, but then also like what I'm doing is tying it back to how I started in design and art and everything. Is I was scrapbooking at school, so cut things out, and just kind of like I get a magazine, cut it out, like kind of just I don't know, it's just like a college scrapbooking style. So it's not like my only like I'm like a designer as well. So it's like I don't have like a particular style. My style changes all the time to keep up, to kind of just stay evolving. So like this project, I thought, man, this is about like a lot of rookie cards or throwing it back to like an era. So I was like, why don't I throw it back to my era, my rookie as an artist? And then do what I was doing, how I originally started. So that was the whole idea. I haven't changed like in terms of this you can see elements of the original card on that.
Yeah.
You can see elements of the original card on that. So I'm just trying to like kind of revamp it. Like if I had the card, I had a pair of scissors and a bunch of stuff in school, and I was just kind of recreating. The only one that I've actually kind of moved a little bit away from the original card was the Jeter.
Yeah.
As you can see, I've used more photos, and it's probably the furthest away from the original card that I've done. The reason behind that is it was card number 200. Topps had highlighted it for me, and I was like, man, it's the halfway point of the set.
Yeah.
May as well do something a little bit different, a little bit special for it. So that's probably the only card that I've kind of changed up in terms of what I was going to do.
It was super sick. How long does it take you to do these cards? And do you have your last designs done yet? Or are you still kind of twiddling and messing with them?
No, I don't have my last cards done. I do them like week by week. Like, yeah, it's been a struggle to kind of get them done just with everything
Right.
that's going on. Yeah, no, they probably take, some of them might take, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, and then some might take 20, 30, 40 hours because I've done it 2 or 3 times. Or like, I don't like to do something on the day. Like, if I say 4 hours, I don't like to do something and then submit it. I'll do it and then revisit it a day later or revisit it 2 days later. Because, like, what I've known, like, especially, with my work is I think it will look good or whatever. I think it's good enough. And then I'll wake up the next day and I'll see so many flaws or so many things I would like to change or tweak. So I try and do that where I make it and then revisit it in a day or 2 days time where I'm just seeing it as like it's kind of like a new piece. So that's kind of how I work.
OMRS 2491 wants to know, out of all the cards you've designed, which one stands out the most to you?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know. Like I do really like my trout card. Um, but like I know it's just like an easy option to say because it's Trout's the biggest
Yeah,
player in the
right.
set. So I don't know. I do like it. Like I should have one on me, but it's somewhere around. But yeah, no, I do like that. But in terms of like the other one, it would be my Jeter because like I mentioned, it's the only card that features different photos on it. So I think that's the standout. But in terms of like the feedback, I reckon the one that consistently one that I get the best feedback on is probably my Bob Gibson one. So I do like that.
And that card actually, yours dropped before Bob passed away, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was probably about card 7 or 8 in my set. I think it would have launched around June, I reckon. Yeah, late
Yeah.
May, June. Mhm.
Something like that. Such an icon and such a legend. Would you approach that one? Somebody is asking, would you have approached that card any differently after he passed away, and taken any different art approach to pay homage to him since he passed?
Yeah, I probably definitely would have removed like the baseball bat being broken behind his head, sort of thing, or coming out behind his head. Um, I think you just kind of take a safer route, I guess. Once someone passes away, especially that they're iconic, you just want to do it justice. It would have been probably more of a tribute piece. I did tribute a few things on it. Yeah. Also, I don't know if a lot of people know, but I believe I might be the only artist that's incorporating a lot of the back of the cards on the front of the cards. So if you look, like there's a lot, not on all my cards, but some of them you'll see like this is on the back of his rookie card. This like
Oh,
Bob's nickname
sick.
is
Yeah,
Two.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I didn't even
and
realize that.
yeah, so you'll see that in about half of my cards. I'll incorporate the back of the card on it. And like again, like even this Mariano Rivera one, what you'll see is I actually incorporated the packet that the card
Wow.
came in, the box of the packet. So it's the Bowman, and it's got the bubble gum. So I try and do that not on all, but about half of my cards. And there's also a little reference here on the Bob Gibson. I think there is about him being in the Harlem Globetrotters. I think somewhere, or maybe
Yeah.
not. But anyway, yeah, I would have probably made more of a tribute piece. If given the opportunity.
Super sick. Is there any card from other artists? What has really stood out and grabbed your attention in the Project 2020 series? And if it's not an individual card, it could be just an artist and their theme that really kind of flipped it in a way that you thought was super ill.
Yeah, it's funny. I've watched you streams with the other artists, and every single one haven't been able to just narrow down with one artist or
Of
one card, or
course.
whatever, because everyone's like, "Oh no, I've got so many." But like, I might switch it up. Like, you've asked me like, you know, what would I pick? And like for me, like I feel like the ones that stand out to me is Andrew Thiel's. They're amazing. There's so much detail in them. The way he can get so much detail into into a small card. I picked up some myself. So I've seen it on a card, and like, I'll see it online and think, geez, like there's so much detail. I wonder how it will translate into a small card. And it works. It works. It's but his
Yeah.
work is going to be amazing, beautiful for the prints. I think his work is going to even be better on the print side of things than the
Yeah.
cards. But his cards is obviously special, but I think the prints are going to be next level for his.
I agree. I love all the prints so much. I think it's just such a dope concept. And then look, when you see them in person, and for anybody that has them, they'll understand. If not, if you've ordered them, get ready, because they're truly phenomenal and they look great. And even the framing is good on them too. Like usually you have to pay a bunch of money and wait for it to get framed. The fact that they're coming fully framed already is just super dope. I'm so glad that Topps went in and did that. You can order them right now, of course, on Topps.com. Click on the Project 2020 section, and you can actually grab Tyson's latest card that just dropped earlier today.
Mhm.
So and I know a lot of you guys out there have already copped it. If not, go on right now. And rather than spending money on a more produced version of the most limited card run in the series, you can buy his brand new Doc Gooden full-size print that's individually numbered, less than the lowest print run of those cards. So seriously, it's still steal. You brought up a great point. It's priced cheaper than 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 the actual card itself, and it's nice. It's something that's easier to hang and play with. So
Yeah, and autographed as well. So yeah,
and it's
yeah.
autographed, so you love it. All right, let's do another giveaway. We got a bunch of giveaways. We're gonna save a couple other ones to the end. Let's do man, there's too many things. Too many good cards, too many questions. I'm gonna ask a quiz around, let's see. Let's take something from the Ted Williams card. You incorporated some interesting things. I want to ask, who is swinging a bat besides Ted on the front of the Ted Williams card? Let's see the first person to answer on either Twitch or YouTube. We're watching both streams concurrently. What is the first? Who else is swinging a bat on the front of the Ted Williams card? You guys better get to Google if you don't have it right there.
I
Zach
don't have it on me. I need to revisit that.
Zach Stone hit it. The mascot, the Red Sox mascot.
Got it.
RGARC said at the same time, pretty much on Twitch too. We'll hook both of you guys up, one on Twitch, one on YouTube. Congrats, Zach. Congrats, ARGARC. We still got the big giveaways coming up. Of course, we are live from Los Angeles all the way to Australia. Tyson Beck in the building. I want to talk about your career, because you've been able to do some phenomenal things. How much more difficult was it for you working from another continent and making it in American sports? Working, I mean, I wanted to get into your work with Kobe and some of those other guys as well, but was it more difficult and challenging being from Australia?
I don't think so. I mean, like I feel blessed that I'm born when I was. Like I wouldn't be doing it if I was born 2 decades before. It's the internet. Like, a lot of the time, like a lot of it's funny when I first started, a lot of everything was like, if someone wanted to hire me, they were like, you got to move to America to work. And I was like, this is a joke. Like, I don't want to move to America. I'm happy to visit. I got family here. I'm pretty like, I'm a boring person. Like literally I stay at home. I don't do anything. I got a lot of cool things. Like people meet me and they're like, you do so many cool things and all this stuff. And it's just like, then they find out I'm a pretty boring person. So like in terms of what I do. So it's like, I've never wanted to move. I live in Adelaide, which is like known as the boring place in Australia as well. Like we get, it might be like you clear, like it's a lot better than, but it's like it gets the jokes that Cleveland get in America, sort of
Yeah.
thing. But it's a beautiful place here, though. I'm not knocking it. Yeah, never wanted to move. But in terms of the internet, man, like everything, just like social media and everything, like it kind of made it easy. So the only thing that I find difficult is the time zone. Like I went to bed at 5 a.m. last night. That's just normal. Like
Yeah.
it's just normal, and I get up and. But I'm pretty used to it. Like I've been doing this since pretty much like heavy since 2006. So that's 14 years. So I'm used to like I can do all nighters. I can sleep during the day, work overnight. I'm just used to it, and it's just life for me. So, but yeah, for me, it's like it's funny. Like like literally 99% of my clients are from America, and it's just like everyone here is just like, oh, why don't you do this work in Australia and all this stuff? Like, do the sports leagues here. And like, yeah, I've done like a couple things, but like, it's funny. Like, everyone in America is like interested in me, but like no one in Australia is interested in me, which is a really weird thing. But I don't know if it's like a financial thing or who knows. But anyway, it is funny, and I absolutely love America. I've visited over 30 times. And I've done crazy things like, I went to Kobe's last game. I flew there for one day, came back home the next day. Like I got held
Nice.
up in customs because they didn't believe me. They were like, "Where are you staying?" I was like I'm staying here, and they were like, they checked my itinerary, and they're like, "Yeah, you're flying back tomorrow." Like that's sus. And I was like, "I'm here for Kobe's last game. Like, chill out, let me through," sort of thing. And they were like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." But they were like, "Who flies to America and flies back home the next day?" It was like 36 hours of flying to be there for
I
like,
love it.
I
You
don't
had
know.
to be it. That energy, by the way, in the building was. I was at that
Oh,
game
you
as
there?
well. I was lucky. I became good friends with Ronnie Turioff, who's one of Kobe's great friends and one of the
Yeah, yeah,
nicest human beings
dude.
in the history of mankind.
He's my second. He actually liked my LinkedIn post the other day, which is
Really?
actually funny story. But he's actually my second favorite player of all time.
Are you serious? All right, we'll
I'm
make the
not joking.
connection. Ronnie is probably the nicest human being in the history of mankind.
I've got a photo signed, but I don't know how it happened. I think I made some. Do you remember when Twitter had backgrounds?
Yes,
I think I made his background.
that's
And
incredible.
he signed a photo and like, said to Tyson, "Thank you so much." I got it somewhere in my house. And it's funny, he's still my second favorite player. And that's because I think when he got drafted, he had open heart surgery as soon as he
Yeah.
got drafted, or maybe I think it was in his rookie season. And the Lakers pay for all that stuff, whatever, they looked after him. But like him, like he just showed so much passion, so much
Yeah,
emotion.
man.
And I just loved his like, like he obviously wasn't the best. He's not the second greatest Laker of all time. But for me, you
I
got
got my Turioff.
that's
I'm the only one. I joke with him too because he played obviously for the Lakers. He won a championship with the Heat. I've held his rings, but I'm a Timberwolves diehard fan. So I'm like, I'm the only person that wants your Timberwolves jersey. So I got it
that's
hanging up
funny.
here.
That's funny. But yeah, he's my second favorite Laker player of all time, which is funny one. But he's such a cool guy.
All right, we might have to do a Ronnie Turioff companion card now. Now that we know that, and collab with him, he'll be all down. So shout out to him. He's interested in the card game too. I'm trying to lure him into it, and because he's like, wait, what's going on? What's it about? But yeah, crazy times. But yeah, the energy in the building that night and was just phenomenal. I remember walking in and like looking in front of me, and like Kanye is walking in, and he's wearing that shirt that he collabed and made famous, and just like everybody that was there was the energy. And Kobe started off slow that night. Remember,
Oh
everybody
yeah,
was like, is he gonna be able to hit like 20
yeah.
points and then the
I
end?
was
Just
I
he
was
was always Kobe,
crazy.
right?
I've actually got the ticket. I've got the ticket. It's one of
It's
the few things I
amazing.
collect. I got a press pass for the game, so I was able to kind of go there on the court before the game, after the game, and all that locker room. And I just remember him not like warming up before the game, like
Yeah.
because it was just a different game. And I was just like, oh, this is like obviously like he'd come out do his drills. I don't know if he came super early like he always did, but I just remember him starting like, was it 0 for 6 or something? I was like, man, this is
Yeah.
gonna be this is and there was such like a silence around the crowd every shot he missed. And when he made that first shot, I think it was just such a relief, like, oh, at least he hit one shot. And then the floodgates just opened. That fourth quarter, and I just think the coolest thing, like I didn't actually notice it when I was at the game, but rewatching it 100 times, the coolest thing is you've got guys like Kanye West, Snoop Dogg, Jay Z,
Yeah.
going to the Jack Nicholson. I think Jack Nicholson's son or whatever. They're going nuts, like on every shot he's hitting in the final quarter versus Utah. They're jumping up like Snoop Dogg's doing the selfie. Like you don't get that usually if you go to a game. Like celebrities are sitting there, they don't react to anything. They're
Yeah.
very like it's very
They're
like
too cool, right? They gotta
they're
look
too
cool.
cool. They're too cool.
Yeah.
But that was like the one exception. Everyone was just he was like such an icon, and everyone like even like someone as big as his industry like Kanye West, he still looked up to Kobe. Like he was just on that level where like every star in their field still looked up to Kobe, and it's like a childhood hero to so many.
Hell yeah. Let's do gonna do another giveaway right now on Twitch. We got actually the LA, the purple and gold emotes. So whoever drops one, next person to drop them, we're gonna give another card away. If you're watching us on YouTube, let's give one away to somebody that can name what let's see. Actually, let's just drop the game. Let's see. Actually, what year Ronnie Turioff played for the Lakers? First person to say that, since we're talking Turioff on YouTube, that is. We've got the LA ones from Sproul 05. You're the winner. You dropped it just before OMRS 2491 on YouTube. Let's see. Our winner will be, let's see, JDJ says 2008. I got to look it up. I think you are correct there, but we'll double check. Hold on. 2007, 2008. Yes, that's correct. You won. Congratulations to JDJ. So we've got you hooked up again. DM us on Instagram or Twitch at Dash Radio. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. Tyson Beck is in the building. We are talking about a bunch of cards and all these things. Now, I've seen a few of your cards actually signed by the Topps 2020 Project cards signed by some of the athletes, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think there's a couple of them. I don't have any of them myself. Yeah, I think I can't even remember. There's a few of them though. Yeah. I think players are doing like signings and stuff. So it's kind of cool that they're getting in on it. I know Doc signed a bunch of the Doc Gooden cards, which is cool. He was able to get them. I don't know if that means that
Yeah.
he bought in super early or bought at super expensive prices. I don't know, but that's kind of cool to see. And yeah, I think there's like a Trout signing, or well, Trout. Topps released actually Trout's signatures in my Trout card. So I think 10 random ones they'll be distributed or have been distributed at some point. So yeah, there's been a few players signatures, which is pretty cool.
It's super sick to see. And the great thing about doing this project too is you get to learn so much, especially for you, diving in some of these players that you did, like, that are generations prior to you even being born, and learning about them. What's been the most impressive thing you've walked away with from a player that you learned in doing research for their card, or somebody that you had like a new level of respect for, that, like, a fact that you did not realize happened? Is there anything that stands out?
Well, I guess I thought the Bob Gibson one was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Like
man, he
Harlem
was a
Globetrotter.
beast, bro.
Mm. I think, and yeah, I think that's pretty cool to think he played on the Harlem Globetrotters and baseball. Like, let's just, I don't know. I just found that amazing. I didn't know that. And yeah, there's some other ones, like obviously learning about Jackie Robinson and everything that he did, stood up for, like that was really cool. Like, again, like, I'm just coming from a point of view that I don't really understand too much of the history of the game. So, I found that very, yeah, that was kind of like an iconic thing, and was like, oh, like everyone, I've heard of Jackie Robinson before, but I
Mhm.
didn't know if it was just because he was a good baseball player. But obviously he stood for so much more, and that was kind of cool to kind of like look into that and read about a bunch of stuff and watch a bunch of stuff on Jackie.
Super cool, man. It's so amazing. Has any of the players reached out to you yet directly, or DM'd you, or said anything about the cards? Have you gotten anything yet? Not that they're all on
No,
Instagram or anything.
I haven't, but I've had a bunch of NBA players and NFL players that want to work with me. So I don't know if you've seen, I'm doing my, like, basically I'm working with NBA players doing their cards. Done Jason Tatum, Tyler Hero, Kyle Kuzma, and I'm working with Donovan Mitchell now.
So
So
cool, man. It's so
and
awesome.
so there's been a bunch of players reaching out where they want me to collaborate with them, do cards, and which is cool because I'm creating, like, cards that the players care about. Them they're wanting in the contracts that they get a bunch of cards to keep, which is just cool. Like, they actually keep, they want to they want to collect it. They want some of my cards, and for what I'm doing, I believe that I'm the only person in the world that's ever done it, which is really cool. Like, I've always been about
Yeah.
creating trends and creating new things. And the coolest thing about it is, like, Topps have seen what I'm doing. Like, hang on, I'll grab one of this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many crazy things. It's such an ill thing. And what's going to be so crazy is I can't believe we're almost damn, it's already December, right? Today's actually the first day of December. And
There's like
ooh,
Tyler Hero one. There's Tyler
yeah.
Hero cards. Actually, I got Jake. This was a test
And the
one, so
foils and
Tyler
reflection, all of those are so ill.
Jason Tatum. So I've done a bunch of them. The coolest thing is that Topps have obviously seen what I'm doing, working with these players directly, athlete card. They care about it. I'm compensating them well. So, like, they're not being left out of it. They're usually left out of, like, the whole trading card market. So, what Topps is doing, like, they're interested in terms of, like, me working with them potentially with other athletes next year and doing these random drops with athletes. So, I'm
So
not going to
sick.
drop the names, but, like, we've communicated in terms of working with some really big athletes, like, outside of basketball as well. And I'm talking about, like, some of the biggest athletes in the world. So, I think that'd be cool. Like, I've kind of created a platform where we can do these artist only cards. Sorry,
Mhm.
athlete only cards. And I think hopefully 2021 is a new thing where I'm just working with Topps in terms of, like, just creating some new players, and then also just doing some myself as well, which has been really cool. Like, to kind of collaborate with the athletes, and I'm all about the athletes like having a say in things, like, whereas like, they get to review the trading card, like, even like the Tatum one's got Beantown on the jersey. Obviously I can't use the licensing word mark, but of the Celtics, but yeah, Beantown on the jersey, because also it's a reference. He just got a dog called Bean, and he's obviously he's a massive Kobe fan. He was his mentor, so there's the Kobe beans there, the 8 and 24
So sick.
beans, and his son's name's Deuce on it. So it's like, man, like, Jason, like, when are you going to get, all your trading cards you have in your life, there's only going to be one that's ever got, a tribute to Kobe on it, and your son's featured on it. Like, and for me, like, I feel like hopefully that's the card that he's got a bunch of them himself.
Yeah.
But hopefully, when it's all said and done, he's retired, that's the card that's going to mean the most to him, because it's got his son's name on it. It's got a Kobe tribute on it. You're not going to get that with any other trading card. And hopefully, yeah, that's going to lead on to next year and do some bigger and better things with other athletes.
So cool. It's so cool to see, man. What's been the most surreal moment? I mean, I've got to assume it's got to be working with Kobe, right?
You know what? The most surreal moment was actually probably meeting Kobe last year. And the sad thing is, I was in LA. Sorry, I was in Denver when he passed away, but I was meant to meet him 5 days after he passed away, because he was going to be signing a bunch of jerseys that we were going to take back to Australia and donate to the Australian bushfires. So that was kind of organized with his management. I was over there with a few people. So, I was at the Houston versus Denver game when it got announced. So that was crazy, because that was the first NBA game that actually, and we were on the court, and like Eric Gordon shares the same manager. So when he found out, he told us, and like, so it was all in the moment we found out. And for me, the most surreal moment was, it was honestly like, so I met Kobe in 2008, I believe. And I met him. I was so nervous. Like, I was like, it was literally just like, I don't know. I was like meeting someone that I've watched a million hours online and at games and stuff, but like never seeing, like, actually talking face to face. And when I met him, like, I couldn't even like talk. Like, I don't know. Like, we chatted for like 15 minutes, but like, it was all like, I don't even know what we talked about. Like, it was probably me just asking corny questions about basketball, and like, who's your idol, and like, what's your best game, and all those crappy questions. But he was really nice to me and everything. But then the cool thing is that fast forward, when I met him last year, it was different. We were like, I helped a part of there's a group called the Our Group. They brought Kobe out to Australia to do a tour here, and I helped with like the marketing advertising side of things for that. And they were like, oh, just jump on the photo line, get a photo with Kobe, sort of thing. So it wasn't like Kobe didn't know I was there, like whatever. Like, and we follow each other on Twitter. He's messaged me a few times when I did my ACL. He gave me help in terms of like, what to do with my ACL and how to
Wow,
recover.
that's
So it's like,
crazy, dude.
yeah. So it's like, I don't know if he knows me, sort of thing. So it's like, because we've exchanged hundreds of messages online, but it's like, I don't know if he saw me 10 years after we met. So I went up there and I just said to him, like, I didn't want to be like, oh, I didn't know what to say. So I kind of went up photo line and I was just like, oh, hey, Kobe. I've done a bunch of, because it was very much like push along, like take a photo, push along, like next person. There was a security guard just pushing people through. You had 5 seconds with him. And I just said, went out and said, hey, Kobe, I've done a bunch of your memorabilia artwork with Panini. Just left it that. And he was just like, and he just clicked his fingers and he's just like, dude, you're Tyson Beck. And I was just like, and
Wow.
that for me, that was surreal. I was like, dude, you. And then he stood, the security guard kind of like, because he probably thought that we were like, I was trying to chat. He kind of like told him to stay, and then he turned away and started talking to me for, even though it was a minute. The cool thing is he started talking to me about, like, he knew me. He was just like, dude, I see your work. I see, like, he's like, how do you, like, you're working with Nike, you're working with like NBA. He's like, you've got all these clients. He was like, how do you get these clients and how do you get people to work for you in such a competitive industry? And the cool thing about that is he was asking me, because he's such a sponge. He was asking me because he's a storyteller and he was in the creative side of things. So he was just a creative talking to a creative.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the most surreal moment, because for me being like a massive fanboy, and it was always about basketball, how great he is as a basketballer, flip 10 years later, he's talking to me and wanting info from the creative side of things. So I think that's the most surreal moment. And like, honestly, that conversation, even if it was only for a minute, that drives me every single day to get better. and just create cool things.
Wow. What an incredible story, right? An incredible human being. Just had so much energy and like you said, was a sponge. So amazing, man. We could keep going on for hours and hours. Unfortunately, we're almost out of time for this stream, and we got to do a couple
Let's
big
give away
giveaways
this, man. Let's
that
give away this.
people have been waiting on. So
all right, seeing as we're talking about Kobe, actually, I'll drop a Kobe question. So we're giving away this. We'll go to, this is the shortest print run. It is 1065. I'm pretty sure it's 1065, but whatever. It's the shortest print run. It goes for a lot of money on eBay. A lot of people have all my cards except that Gooden. Because we're talking about Kobe, I've been talking about it a lot. Maybe I'll drop a Kobe question. Let's
do it. And this is the giveaway. And hold on, let's give people a chance, because sometimes over the stream, if you're watching a long time, it kind of buffers in the background. So refresh your stream right now if you're watching on YouTube and Twitch, so you can get the most up-to-date one. We'll wait about 30 seconds before we ask the question, so we can give you guys all an equal chance. Because if you've been watching us a long time, it might be slightly delayed and lagged. So go refresh the stream right now. Don't miss it. You're gonna miss it. So refresh it so you can get the most up-to-date question. In the meantime, if you already refreshed, welcome into it. It is the Topps 2020 Artist Interview Series. I'm DJ Skee. We do it like this every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 on the East, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 out here on the West Coast. If you miss them live on cardhouse.net or Twitch or YouTube, we put them up as podcasts. These will all be airing shortly. We have the first couple up right now. So just search the Skee Sports Card Show in the podcast world. We've got a couple giveaways left. First up, we are going to do Tyson Beck giving away the lowest print run, not only in his collection, but of the entire Project 2020 series, which is Doc Gooden. He has a question for Kobe Bryant. The first person to get it right, I'm watching on both YouTube and Twitch right now for the answers, will win. So without further ado, I think everybody's back. Tyson, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, cool. So the question is, there was one game in Kobe's career that he outscored an entire team by himself in 3 quarters. Which team was that?
Great question. I'll read you the first answers and you tell me when somebody gets it. Raptors, Mavericks, Dallas.
Dallas Mavericks.
50. All right. 50 Taxi. Got it. 50 Taxi on Twitch was first with it. Tyler B was first on YouTube. So we'll give Tyler one of the regular cards. Tyler, send us a note, but the first was on Twitch. I was watching him at the same time and it was 50.
Sad. I know Tyler. Would have been great to give it to him.
Tyler, we'll hook you up with something else. We've got one more question. You can ask a question. I have one ready too, if not for the big print giveaway that we're going to do with Topps. They're going to give away one of these limited numbered prints of you. I don't know if it's going to be the Doc Gooden one, but it will be one of Tyson Beck's Project 2020 full-size limited $3.99 prints. Do you have a question ready, or do you want me to ask one?
You can ask one, but also just quickly, the email shop at tysonbeck.com, the winner who got that. So then
Perfect. 50 Taxi, send us a whisper on Twitch, since you're on Twitch, and we will get your info and pass it over to Tyson, because I'm sure a lot of people will be hitting you up and saying that the right person.
Fair enough.
So, congratulations, 50 Taxi. I wish that was me. I wish that was my alias. I'm jealous that I didn't win. I didn't know the answer.
I'll look after Tyler as well. I'll send him out something. I've got a bunch of Kobe shit in my house. So, sorry, I shouldn't swear, but
Tyler,
I'll look after him.
You heard it. Tyler, you guys know each other already for it. All right, so for the big print, the second grand prize, we got 2 grand prizes. I'm going to pull up a card, and I want to know what the first person to answer, again, on Twitch and YouTube, the correct answer of the print run for this card.
Ooh.
Let's see what you guys can do. First person to respond with a print run gets the full-size print. It may be this. It may be one of those cards. It's going to be one of Tyson's full-size prints. 3,000. That's pretty close. 3707. 50 Taxi. You can't win again. Let's see. The most accurate answer came in, and it was on YouTube from Justin Cousin, who said 3707. There's a couple other on Twitch. We'll reward. I think RGAC, Arjiza already got the regular ones. Genuva will give you a regular card, but we're going to give it to Justin Cousin. So Justin, hit us up on Dash Radio at Twitch or Instagram. We'll get you taken care of. Congratulations on winning. Tyson, what are the last couple of players that you have left to finish off with?
Okay. So I got Tony Gwynn and Don Mattingly. So Tony Gwynn's next, and then Don Mattingly's last. And I'm pretty sure my Tony Gwynn, unless something changes, will be my rainbow foil card.
Ooh,
Unless
that's gonna be
something changes. So that would be
that's gonna be
cool.
fire.
That would be my
A-
only rainbow foil of the set. So
And
yeah.
any thoughts, any ideas, what any themes that you guys are gonna do, or any cool things that you're incorporating, especially for the last one, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I haven't really thought too much. I was thinking about um yeah, doing something different on my last one, but then I was like, nah, well, I think I'm just gonna stay true. And then because at the end of the day, if someone collects all 20 of my cards, I want it to be consistent.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna I don't think I'm gonna do anything crazy or cool or special for it. I'd rather kind of keep it consistent. So then if the people that are displaying all my 20 cards, they've got something that, from 1 to 20 is all yeah. Call it conservative, but yeah, kind of keep things consistent there.
It's amazing, man. It's amazing. I can't wait to see those. It's been an absolute pleasure, Tyson. I've been buying these since, again, 25, one of the early prints. This is one of the OG ones that I've got from you. So I love seeing the art and seeing your success over the years, and the story, especially when now I got to sit and talk with you, is truly amazing. We're going to connect offline and make the Ronnie Turioff card happen. Shout out to all the Gonzaga fans that are here with us in the chat. I see y'all shouting out. Gonzaga's balling out this year. Shout out to my guy, Jalen Suggs, who's from Minnesota, top player in the country right now. Tyson, you're going to be working with him, I'm sure, soon once he makes it to the league. We appreciate all you guys rocking with us. And of course, Topps, for not only creating Project 2020 and, launching this entire series with us, but for doing so much for the sports card community and always being, front of the line in terms of the way that they work and the opportunities they give artists and talent, even like myself. We're super excited for that. Go grab these prints, the full-size prints up right now. Seriously, like it is the best deal in sports cards. These are going to be selling for a lot of, my prediction again, and take it with like, if you just do the math, the supply and demand numbers, and if you look at the art world, I have a lot of art prints that aren't sports. The value for these is second to none. So go scoop them before it is too late, because a lot of people are going to regret it. We appreciate everybody that's been rocking with us. Tyson, thank you so much for taking out part of your day to join us and talk cards. I know you got 20 million other projects going on and more cards to make, so I can't wait to see what's next. Where can people find you if they're just joining us for the first time and not familiar? What's the site where they can shop and the social handles?
Shop is shop.tysonbeck.com, but more active on Twitter, which is at Tyson Beck Design, and then on Instagram, just at Tyson Beck. So those are kind of the only ones I rock with. But yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity. It was great to talk to you. I've been looking forward to talking to you for a while. I used to actually listen to Dash Radio back in the day
I
until
love it.
you guys blocked it. Geo blocked it in Australia.
Oh man, we don't have the licensing. Yeah, we got cut off in Australia. We're gonna be back out in Australia soon, man. We got to get you the VPN so you can get on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, no, I appreciate it. It was great to connect with you and just basically chat sports, chat cards. It's what we do, so it's all good.
I love it. This is such a pleasure. Tyson, thank you so much. Thank you to all the fans and everybody watching us in the chat. Shout out to everybody listening to the podcast. Go download the podcast right now. The Skee Sports Card Show is officially live on all platforms. Tyson's will be updated either later this week or next week if you missed it. And of course, we'll have the interviews up on our YouTube and Twitch. We will be back Thursday again with more in the Topps Project 2020 Artist Interview Series. Tyson, you go enjoy your day, and we'll connect offline.
Thank you. Enjoy your night. See you guys. Thank you,
All right,
everyone.
you guys, y'all be good.
Bye.